This is the, if you think you're going without me mush, you've got another thing coming. That's what that is. All right. We're going. Morning world, welcome to Friday, August the 8th. And although a bit of a light start for me, today's gonna be pretty busy day. Tomorrow's going to be even busier, and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday even busier. Today is the not so much farmy stuff, but after this afternoon it's going to go all farmy stuff. So bear with us. I couldn't do that a couple of days ago. I've had to have almost a week off of most of my work because last Saturday when I was moving the cows, I did my back in. That means, because it's Friday, that's almost a whole week I've done very little in the way of work. I've done a lot of standing up, sitting down, lying down, groaning and moaning and stuff, but I haven't actually managed to do an awful lot of work, including driving. I haven't done much driving. So I have a week's worth of stuff to catch up with. Tomorrow, we're combining. About 11, 12 o'clock tomorrow, I think we'll be kicking off with that. I've got to do a bit more of what I'm doing this morning, tomorrow morning, while I can. Anyway, basically what I'm trying to say, what I'm waffling on about, is I've got a whole lot of stuff to look at for the tree company, and I've got to try and get it all done. There's no way. In the next few hours. Right then, boys and girls, all my tree work stuff is, well, as much as I can do, because not everybody's at home. All my tree work stuff is done, as far as I can. Shall we get and do some other stuff? Let's start over there. So, I'm hoping we're gonna have quite a bit of straw. But do you remember how wet this got in here last winter? I need to have a bit of a sort out with that. I need to move Dave's tractor. I need to get the Zago out, and I need to get the spreader out. So we've kept the spreader nice and dry. It is reasonably clean in there, apart from this at that end. I want a couple of hammers. Yeah, we'll start with Dave's tractor. I think that's backwards. Yes, it is. I'm only moving it a little bit because I've got the exhaust facing right on the bales. And I don't expect that to cause problems, but you know, everything's a bit precious this year, so we'll just take extra precautions. I think we're on. I think we're on. It looks like we're on. We will just double check though, because I don't want to pinch the end of that PTO shaft. Right. Right, we'll take that out, drop it off, and then probably what we're going to do, I'm probably going to get the skid steer and lift the drawbar up to make sure that it drains properly. We're going to have to lift him up quite high to make that drain out of there. You drop it there now. Got to move that. Got to move Dave's bench. That's a Rolls-Royce British Aerospace bench, which I think he was going to take home, and I think actually he's thinking of selling it. So if anybody wants a big, whatever bench you call that, it's big drawer. It's really heavy. Moved as well. Back's a little bit tender. Just reminds me occasionally of, like, you could do stuff, but you take it steady or I'm gonna blinking well bite you again. So, okay. You in there a minute. No, you got to get off. Off. There you go. And then while we're at it, we'll move you as well. Carefully. You're going to stay on there? Okay. I put you around the corner, I think. I don't want to drop that. That's 3,500 quid of a screener. Although I don't use it very much, I'd rather not break it. So yeah, slowly. Don't fall off there. Don't fall off. Don't fall off there. I don't like that. That does not look safe at all, does it? Let's just move him over a bit. Tuck him back into them bales. That's less dangerous. we'll have that other bag out of there. We'll put over there. So the idea is that I'm going to clean everything out of that shed apart from those big square bales of straw. I might bring the rest of the wheat straw over from that side as well, once I've got the floor sorted out in here. But yeah, I intend to fill this barn up with barley straw. Right, that's all fencing offcuts. Pretty sure one of my daughters will spot that. Let's see which one watches the video first and says, I'll have that, Dad. Maybe that's what we'll do. The first one to watch the video and claim that bag of logs can have them. I could pick that gate up, yep, I could. I could carry that, and even with a slightly sore back I can manage that, but I've decided not to. Go on. There you go. This could be fun. When I said it was heavy, I meant heavy for you or me to pick up, not for the skid steer. The skid steer is like, nah. Draftsman's table, that's what it is, isn't it? Draftsman's table. I knew it was something like that. Right, where am I going to put it? Something in there. Thing in there. There's a sander in there and looks like a lead lamp. The sander looks like about 50 years old, so yeah, probably got a Baker-like plug on it. I've just pulled that out of there and it's given me an idea. If that was cleaned up and painted up, I know somebody I reckon who could make good use of that. Really good use of it. Yes, I could have carried the fence posts too. Sorry, gate posts I could have done. But why? Why would you? That's for a little gate, that is. I got a job for them. Right. Zago time. I don't like the idea of leaving this outside. It goes against the grain. I'm always trying to keep it in, but with the value of the feed and the straw, needs must. smashing the gearbox. That's what happened when this thing was delivered. They delivered this, got it off the trailer, and the guy who dragged it off the trailer didn't hook up the PTO shaft. This came off the lorry trailer, that was shoved back, and the gearbox smashed. So only upside for me, I had to go without the machine for a couple of weeks, but only upside was I got a new gearbox, well, reconditioned one anyway. Okay, well, that's some 3 revs. Zero reverse all the way. He's soft. We are, aren't we? We're definitely a bit soft. Right. Just going to change plans a little bit. I think I might leave that on the hard actually. I think I'm going to get tyre right to come out, because that's going down faster and faster now, so I think I'll get tyre right out to fix. I'm not going to have a go at fixing that tyre. No. I think it's hard enough for me to get it up around the corner on some solid ground. I'll just go steady at it. I could do with some sticky out mirrors really. Hard up there ish. So go back to plan A. Go back to plan A. Worst comes to worst, you have to blow it up first. I'll pull it out onto harder ground and then change it out there, but at least over here it's kind of out the way, innit? Right, we'll chop you this side. Oh look, the old tractor's just clocked up. As you see that, 4,300 hours. For a 20-year-old tractor, he's not had a hard life, has he? I know. I know. Right, that's everything I wanted out. Now I've got to do something with the floor. At the moment it's rock hard, but if we get a lot of rain, ideally I level it out and put a little pallets in there. Let's start with leveling it out. I think it's a job for the Doosan, really. You could do with a bit of exercise. Right, off down to the Doosan. Should start. Has been laid up quiet for a while. I want the grading bucket, so those two buckets can stay here. So I'll move the chairs, get Dave's stuff out, start him up. Well, providing it starts up, we'll get him over there in the barn. So we will be returning to that sooner or later. Sooner, hopefully. If anybody local is watching and is looking for some work, Dave is looking for a labourer, preferably somebody who understands a string line and knows one end of a trowel from another. So if you want a bit of labouring work, helping us with this, and you know what you're doing, message us. And if you don't know what you're doing, well, probably better not to bother, because Dave is not the most patient person. So, yeah. Right, let's see if we can get this thing going. Hello, Doosan. Have you missed me? I'm opening that kind of, well, assuming it's going to start. So, not cold. Got two chances. Have we got any battery? A bit. Ramblers. It's alive. We'll have that bucket off over there, I think. Right, we haven't got an awful lot of fuel, but enough. I'm back. Right, I've actually been gone 25, nearly half an hour. From the moment I started the machine up, do you remember me saying, oh look, there's a couple of ramblers walking down through? You probably didn't even see them. Anyway, they got to the gate into the golf course. Cattle spotted them. I saw the cattle swarm through the gateway, and you know when they're on a mission. They're not aggressive, all right? The cattle aren't aggressive. They're bloody nosy, and it was like, ooh, what's going on? I heard you. Anyway, it was an American couple from Oregon, obviously in the USA, over here visiting, and I said, you lost? I mean, they were right over there. She was literally hiding behind a tree, and he was there going shoo shoo shoo, and I said, and I literally walked straight through the middle of the cattle, and they looked at me as if to say, what on earth are you? And it was like, I said, obviously you don't know cattle very well, and they go, no, we're frightened. And I said, okay, where are you going? She said, we're going to the Swan Hotel. I said, what, the Swan Hotel in Wotton? Yes. I said, you're going in exactly the wrong direction. Oh, really? I said, well, you've just walked down that way. If you want to go to the Swan Hotel in Wotton, you need to go that way. Oh, she said. Well, we were following another couple. I don't know if they were travelling with her. I said, and they've left us, and obviously they've directed you in the wrong direction. And I said, well, if you've got, what, 3 words? no, don't know what that is. I said, have you got any maps? She goes, oh yeah, I've got maps on my phone. And I said, well, you're going the wrong way. Are you sure? Yeah, pretty sure. So then I spent 10 minutes showing them how what 3 words would not only show them where they are, but also how to get to where they want to go. Although I will say what 3 words in this instant, the route that what 3 words gave them to get to the Swan Hotel was 1 hour and 50 minutes. I brought them back up through the farm to the gate, and the route I gave them was 25 minutes. So I don't know why what 3 words had to go all that way around. Whether it was because I'd walked that way and the phone knew which way I'd gone and it just assumed I was going that way. Maybe that was it. Devil's advocate and all that. Anyway, I escorted them back for the cattle. She wasn't keen on the idea. I said, you'll be fine. They will be fine. We went through the gate. I told them all to bugger off and that they were naughty buggers, which made her laugh, and came back up, and I've literally directed them. I said, it's about 1.25 miles from where you're standing right now. So I said, up the hill, second right, turn right down the footpath. Looks like a private drive. It is, but it's also a footpath. You can't miss it. Wooden gate at the entrance and a little gate next to it and a lamp post by the gate. Turn right there, go straight. Keep going till you get to the Wotton High Street. When you get onto the Wotton High Street and you're walking down, take the first turning right. That's Market Street. And the Swan Hotel is about 150 yards down there on the left-hand side. She goes, oh, she goes. And he's there going, oh yeah, no, oh yeah. I said, you look like you could do something, putting your feet up and having something cold. He goes, oh yeah. And she goes, and I want a shower. And I go, right, okay. I said, so there you go. So yeah. So the folks from Oregon, USA, are now hopefully well on their way back to the Swan Hotel for a well-earned rest. And hopefully she won't have nightmares tonight regarding little black cows. Okay, lovely couple. Yeah, right, shall we? So I got a keypad on this as well, so. Right then. Bit of revs. See, on this machine, I can start it up with that up or down. So with all you shouting at me when I was trying to start the Volvo with that, it's because that's what I'm used to. It's just what I'm used to. Anyway. Plonk you off there. Excuse me, Pepper. Thank you. Excuse me. Right, can I get you out of there? Not so easy with a camera in your hand. I might have to put the camera, hang on. That's easier. Are you gonna go, you want to tip, don't you? Yeah, you will have to go that way then, won't you? Hey, can't tip that way. Go on, round you go, round you go. There it is. And a little wriggle. There he is. Happy days. We're on. Right. Quickest way for me to get to where I want to go is through that gate and then that gate over there. More or less a straight line. As long as they don't come bolting up the field, we'll be fine. I do like this little digger. I see Iron and Earth have got their Volvo up for sale now, £24,000 I think it was. So, nothing wrong with a Volvo. I just found it very rattly. But this thing's rattly, just not as rattly. Right, it's 5:15. So, we'll get around there. I won't start for a minute. I've got to go in and upload tonight's video first. We'll come back to this later on or maybe tomorrow. We ain't gonna be bailing. We're not gonna be bringing bales over a couple of days yet. I might see if I can pull some of that back. There's a bit of stone on top. Pull this clay out. We've still got some planings around the back of there. I don't know, let's put this in here for now. We will look at this when I come back down. Right, I'm going back out. That was giving me a headache. So it is 6:33. I spent the last half an hour watching tonight's upload. I think it's called Avi the Bull was the one I uploaded tonight. Waiting for those blimmin' bots. So we've been plagued in the last, I don't know, month with these bots. It seems within the first 10-15 minutes I upload a video, these 6 or 7 things appear. They're all computer generated, they're not real people, and all it is somebody, you know, gushing how wonderful and how fantastic I am, and you know, they've been watching me for ages now. Oh no, oh bless me, and oh, well, whatever. And it's all a picture. The thumbnail is always a picture of a pretty young lady or a pair of boobs or someone's ass or something like that. And all they're there for is they're waiting to trap you to go, oh, look at that, a pair of boobs or a pretty face or a nice ass. To click on it, that you go on their page, and usually you'll find they've got 1 or 2 subscribers, or they're new and they've got 1 or 2 videos, and that's it. That's all it is. And on those videos, it is a link to pornography. I think. Well, pretty certain it is. I haven't actually clicked any of them because I am half frightened to go in there. I don't want to go in there. I don't want that on my history, so I don't do it. So I've been, sometimes I come in after half an hour of releasing a video, sometimes it's a couple of hours. But normally I am scrapping off. Started off with 3 or 4, now 7 or 8. They're getting worse, and apparently YouTube and Google have no intention to do anything about it. We've either got to just let it go and hope they go away with themselves, or we scrap it. I'm kind of hoping that if I persevere and keep chucking them out, they'll give up. Thing is, I don't think it's people doing it. I think it's actually a computer generated thing. And for some reason, they've decided to pick on me. So yeah. So whenever you see them arrive, just shout bot or whatever. Don't click on it. Don't go and enter into it, and definitely don't click the links inside, because it'll probably take you somewhere you don't want to go. And I bet it's a scam. I bet it's some way of trying to scam you out of money. So don't go near it. Report it. That's the best thing. The best thing you can do is to click on the 3 little dots to the top right hand side of the comment and report it. And hopefully, if enough people around the world start kicking off and wasting a lot of Google's time reporting it, they'll do something about it. Because it really boils my... Right, we're going to shut the yard gate, close the world out. I've had enough for them for today, and I'm going to go and have a little play on the deucen. You're welcome to join me. Right, I'm just checking on my phone, because I know the second I turn my back... No, no, no. Okay, maybe they got the message. I don't know. Anyhow, in other news, before I start on the deucen, obviously I had my little radio broadcast on BBC Radio Gloucester yesterday. There is, if you haven't seen it, you can go to my Facebook page, Farmer P Facebook, and you can actually find it on the Farmer P's Bradley Farm Facebook page. One of my daughters actually found the link to it and sent it to me, and I shared it on. So you can listen to the interview if you want. It's only about 2.5 minutes long. What they cut from about 40 minutes. Kate told me they wanted to do a much longer segment, but I think in what they were doing for the day that they'd given her 2 minutes 35 seconds to do her slot, so they had to fit whatever they could into that slot. But anyway, on the strength of that, I'd like to welcome 80 new subscribers. since yesterday afternoon. So if you're new and you've come and found us from that radio program, welcome. I'm Farmer P. This is the farm. That's my case tractor. That's my other case tractor, which is actually Dad's tractor. There's the Mustang, the Doosan you saw earlier. Yeah, and we've got to start getting ready for harvest. We cut some barley last week, then the weather turned unhelpful. I think we're going again tomorrow, probably around about midday. We're going to kick off again tomorrow, and we'll keep going until the dew comes down and moisture says we got to stop. And then I think we're on it again Sunday. So it's going to be a long week. Well, should be a long weekend for me. And then I've got the balers booked for Sunday, Monday, and then it's going to be straw hauling. So a lot of straw hauling. I spoke to Toby Wells from Lister Wilder yesterday. He has earmarked a 170 horsepower Kubota tractor for me to play with, but I'm pretty sure we're not getting that to the end of the month. And I did warn him and said, Toby, that we could be all finished by then. It could be all done. So he might miss the boat of me playing with his tractor. We'll see. He's coming tomorrow, hopefully early enough before we get on the combine, and we're going to sort out that bale squeeze, just do a bit of grinding on it. But yeah, right. Doosan, shall we? While we're walking over, I'll do a couple of little corrections for the BBC. They got most of it right, but as always, when someone else is doing the editing and they don't really understand the backstory, they did make a couple of mistakes. So in the written piece, they said that I inherited this farm from my dad. That's not true. I bought this farm off my dad. So I inherited t'other farm early, but this farm, the one, Bradley Farm, my place, we bought this one. So yeah, it wasn't all given to me on a silver platter. We've had to pay for it. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to have a little scratch about it. That corner over there is hard. I'm not worried about that over there. We're kind of soft from just inside of the bucket here down through the middle. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to scratch some of this gravel back out the way. I'm probably going to leave the plastic down for now. And then what I'm thinking of doing is over there is a roll of Terram. And I reckon I might just roll some Terram out and put about 4 inches of Terram down on top of this, and then stone on top again. Yeah. Get that packed down, maybe sand it, maybe I don't know. We haven't got time and we haven't got the money to do this properly, so this is probably going to be just a bodge job for this year, just to take the soft bit out of it while it's hard. We may well have to come back to this in a year or so's time. I've got to be careful in that corner because there's a power cable going across there, and it's only about 12, 14 inches deep. So I can't go down far in that corner. I'll be looking forward to concreting all that and making it safe. So this is, believe it or not, of all the sheds and all the yards, it's quite likely this, mainly because of that power cable, this could be the first one on the farm that we actually concrete. I would like to get this watertight for things like bales or muck or whatever we do in the future. I kind of like to get this one finished. Right, enough waffle. Let's get on with the job. That's better. Let's have you out of the way, shall we? And you, we'll have you out of the way as well. Go on, out of the way. Over there. You can go back over there. I want the clay underneath. That's what I want. Right. So let's have the stone off the top first, shall we? Where's the bottom of it? Right then, I've found something. Something interesting. I knew it was there, but I thought it was the other way over. Do you want to know what it is? It's in there. So this is the old drain. When I first moved to the farm, we had a few issues with water. Well, we're still having issues with water. But one of the issues with water was the land drains that were put in by my predecessors were not in great condition. And up there, they were collapsed. So we put a new pipe in. And there is the new pipe we put in. Obviously, I've broken through that, so I'm going to have to repair that. But while digging, I found the old pipe. And there it is. And do you know what? All right, I made a hole in it. That's where I found it. That's still taking water. So I think we're going to make use of that. Yeah, clear. So I decided to pour the rest of the old silage wrap out, and I would put a soak away in here. So I wasn't looking for that. I thought I'd put a bit of a soak away in, because even if I stop that pipe, water's still going to get in here. So I got to find a way of getting rid of it. Well, I broke it. I'm going to have to fix it. That's quite high up there, but I think this old drain, if I'm a bit careful with, if I membrane over that and I'm careful with it, I reckon there's still some life in that drain. So I'm going to leave it in there and let it do its job. So, tree roots in it. Shame I put a hole in it, but that's when I first found it. After I'd found it, well, I scratched it. No more holes. But yeah, I'm quite interested to put a hose pipe down there and see where it goes. Yeah, that's not seen the light of day for, I don't know, could be 100 years. Might be more than that, actually. Be interesting to see if it takes water. Yeah, it'll help me out in here. Anyway, so I'm done for tonight. I've had enough. But I think tomorrow or the next day or the next couple of days, before we start bringing straw over here, we'll put some membrane in there, put some Terram in there. We will hardcore, some smaller hardcore will go in here because I don't want to crush that pipe. And then some, I don't know, some bigger planings, or some of the old planings back in again, perhaps, in here. Have this as a bit of a soak away. And yeah, maybe that'll help cure the problem. Ain't going to solve it, but it'll certainly help. And then what we'll do, because our finished level is going to be a few inches above this, we'll hardcore in here, and then this pipe will take out anything that one doesn't. Do you see the plan? Yeah, so do I.